Do you want to be a winner? Then sound your buzzer. Sound your bell. And let's play Winner Take All with our Winner Take All Quizmaster, Bill Collins.
What a world. Good morning. Oh, good morning and welcome. Happy, whatever today is, Thursday to you. We're awfully happy to have you with us. Welcome back to Winner Take All. Not only welcome to you folks at home, but to all the nice people here in the studio and to our two fine contenders that we have up at our microphone now. We have as our champion on your left, as you look at her, Mrs. Ellen Sparks, who has 1 point, and on her right, Mrs. Kay Hannaford, who has no points as yet. We'll talk to both of you. Mrs. Sparks, what's happened to you since last night? Anything interesting?
Well, nothing very thrilling.
Nothing very thrilling? Mrs. Sparks is a very nice lady who has 7 children and a 42-room guest house. Is that right?
That's right.
And Mrs. Hannaford is a lady whose husband met her while she was playing basketball with a shirt with no sleeves and shorts. Sounds like a lot of fun. Anything interesting happened to you, Miss Hannaford?
No,
Huh?
I don't think so.
Well, don't be so excited. Mrs. Sparks, by the way, has won 2 rounds thus far, has been awarded a Westinghouse clothes dryer, 1 dozen Springtail sheets and pillowcases, and 4 Springfield Venus blankets. That is really doing a good job, Mrs. Sparks. And now, ladies, without any further ado, let's get right into the round. Once again, we'll remind you, the score is 1 for Mrs. Sparks and nothing for Mrs. Hannaford. So let's have it up on the board there, and we'll come along with the first question. 1 for the champ, nothing for the challenger. Mrs. Sparks, will you try the bell? And you the buzzer, Miss Hannaford? All right, we got it working. Now, here comes the first question. 1-0, favor the champ. Before World War I, Germany was an empire. What was the title by which the German emperor was generally known? It was before World War I. What did we call the German emperor?
The Kaiser.
Sound the signal. Now say it.
The Kaiser.
You got a point. Well, it's now 2-0 in your favor. That's right. Don't forget the signal. Don't forget that bell over there, Mrs. Sparks. How you doing, Miss Hannaford?
Fine.
You basketball player, you? Where'd you learn to play basketball?
Right field.
Where'd you meet your husband?
Right field.
Where was he stationed?
Right field.
Boy, oh boy. Got 3 men in right field. Nothing in... Where are you now, by the way? Where are you living now?
Right field.
Here we go again. These 2 kids are going to get an apartment on second base. Mrs. Sparks is a member of a club in where? What's the name of your town?
Dorchester, Mass.
Tell everyone what the name of your club is.
The Windy Club.
The Windy Club. Tell them why they call it the Windy Club. Who are the members?
Well, because we have 7 hefty women.
7 hefty women, and they call their president the Big Wind. What do you call your vice president? All right, anyway, here comes the next question. It's 2-0 in favor of our champion. Let's see what happens. Now, get ready, Miss Hannaford. You need a point now, and Miss Sparks, of course, you can win it. The sport of American football was a direct descendant of a very popular English game. What was the proper name of that English game? The bell, what do you say?
Soccer?
No, it was somewhat like soccer, but it was definitely a thing called rugby. Yeah, rugby. Oh, they grabbed the ball and ran with it and hit each other on the head with other Englishmen. It was great fun. It was sort of like hockey without sticks. But anyway, there's a wrong answer for Mrs. Sparks and a free question, a free shot from the foul line for Mrs. Hannaford, our basketball player. Now, let's see if you can't hit this one into right field, Miss Hannaford. You ready?
Ready.
All right, this is all yours now. You don't have to do anything but answer. Which one of these 3 conditions is not normally treated with any medicine? I'm going to name you 3 conditions. This is all yours now, Kay. You tell me which one you never use medicine for. Malaria, insomnia, nostalgia. Please do not help any doctors in the audience. Malaria, insomnia, or nostalgia. Which one of these 3 would you not use medicine for? Malaria, insomnia, nostalgia. We can only give you 5 more seconds. 4. I'm sorry, we call time it's nostalgia, dear. Which is homesickness, and you can't do much for homesickness with medicine. Now, get ready. Still, both of you are eligible. 2-0. Here comes the question. What manufactured product is so often associated with the city of Grand Rapids, Michigan? It's the buzzer. What do you say, Miss Hannaford?
Cereal?
Huh?
Cereal?
No, it's furniture, manufactured. We haven't been able to make cereal lately. Furniture, it's the center for the manufacture of fine furniture, so a free question now to our champion. Get ready, Mrs. Sparks. Here we go. According to the famous old saying, Mrs. Sparks, what exactly is worth a pound of cure? What is worth...
An ounce of prevention.
And boy, the Windy Club should know, and you're still champion on Winner Take All. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay Hannaford, ever so much for being with us today. We enjoyed having you. Happy basketball and right field and things like that. And to you, Mrs. Sparks, congratulations. I know the Windy Club is proud of you, and we have a windy fella by the name of Don Pardo who wants to tell you what you've won.
Thank you, Bill. And Mrs. Sparks, 12. Yes, 12 Jonathan Logan dresses, designed to flatter everyone, regardless of age. Your Jonathan Logan dress wardrobe is an elegant blend of youthful charm and sophisticated fashion for the casual look of 1952. Congratulations from Winner Take All.
Right now, I want to remind all the folks who'd like to see one of our Winner Take All broadcasts that all they have to do is drop us a line for tickets. Just write us to Guest Relations. That's Winner Take All, Guest Relations, NBC 30, Rockefeller Plaza, New York 20. We choose our contestants from the studio audience. We've had a lot of people asking us how to become a contestant. That's how you do it. Drop us a line for tickets, come to the show, and from there come all of our champions. That's where we found Mrs. Sparks and where we're going to find our future champions, too, unless, of course, Mrs. Sparks stays up here for the next 8 or 10 years. But right now, Mrs. Sparks, you have yourself a prize, and a good prize, and we're going to find a new opponent for you. Is that all right with you? All right, Sheila, suppose you bring out someone for Mrs. Sparks to meet, if you will. Hey, we got your man, Mrs. Sparks. Who's this, Sheila?
Bill, this is Mr. Burton Tarr.
Mr. Burton Tarr? Welcome to Winner Take All, Mr. Burton Tarr. Where are you from?
I'm from Hopwood, Pennsylvania.
Hey, we're... Wow. Everybody from Hopwood is applauding you out there. Isn't it amazing? We got a lot of people. Where is Hopwood, Pennsylvania, by the way?
Hopwood is a beautiful village situated just about 2 miles out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, on the National Pike.
On the National what?
On the National Highway.
Oh, all right. You had me worried with the pike. You sound like a member of the Chamber of Commerce, as a matter of...
I guess I am the Chamber of Commerce.
You're out here doing good. You know, you sounded like that fellow doing a travel log when we heard you talking. What do you do in Hopwood?
Well, I'm the very popular fellow, the tax collector.
Ooh, I mean, good.
And I've also been a member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives for 3 terms. And Pennsylvania State Senator, just finished a term last January. And I've been a coal miner and worked in a steel mill and as a pipeliner and hoboed.
You've been a hobo, too?
That's right.
Were you a hobo before you were in politics, or...?
I'd rather not answer that question.
Yeah, on the grounds you don't want to incriminate yourself.
That's right.
You say you just finished a term?
That's right.
Well, I'm glad you're out, Mr. Tarr. Speaking of terms, are you married?
Oh, yes, sir, very much, sir.
Yeah, very much?
Very much.
How long?
Well, I've been married for 20 years.
You have been married? Were you a hobo when you met your wife?
No, I was a school teacher.
You were a school teacher when...
Of course, now...
Yeah.
Some people might still say I'm a bum.
Oh, now, only that's just politics, Robert. You were a school teacher when you met your wife. Was she in your class or anything?
She was a senior in high school, and I was teaching her typing.
Say, that sounds like a very romantic bit of stuff there. How'd you get to know her? I mean, besides seeing her in typing class, how'd you get to know her?
Well, I used to take pins and put them in the carriage of her typewriter so she'd have to call me over to see what was wrong.
Hey. What was wrong?
Just wanted to talk to her.
I see. So you'd put pins in your wife's carriage, the carriage of your wife's typewriter. She'd call you over, and you'd explain what was wrong, and that's how it happened, huh?
That's right.
How long did you two go together?
A week.
That was a fast course in that school, that's all. How'd you go about proposing, Mr. Burton Tarr?
Well, I had a date with her on Saturday. The next Saturday, she was walking down the street, and she was going to the store, and I, walking down, and I ran into her, and I said, this would be a nice morning to get married, and she said yes.
And that's how it happened?
That's how it happened.
The girl left the house for the store, you met her, and you ended up married, is that right?
That's
right.
right.
Do you remember, by any chance, what she was going to the store for, what she was going to buy at the store?
She's going to get a ham.
Did she get one?
She still has me.
Yeah, well, how'd the wedding go? I mean, was it an exciting, interesting type wedding?
We went over to Oakland, Maryland, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember I smoked a cigar going in, and I must have ate it because we couldn't find it after the ceremony was over.
After the ceremony, you had a wife. You got yourself a bride and lost your cigar, huh?
Yes.
Would you say it was a good deal?
Very good deal.
Your wife is obviously watching, huh?
She She better be.
All right, I just want what did the school superintendent, we were talking about your wife, what did the school superintendent think about the teacher marrying one of the students? Was he mad about that?
Well, he didn't think very much of that. Of course, that's how I got into politics. I had to get out and help elect the school board that would give him a job back because they fired me.
They fired you as a teacher. You
That's
entered
right.
politics, got back in, got a new school board, and got back as a teacher.
That's right.
Wowee, you better watch this fellow, Mrs. Sparks. Go over and say hello to Mrs. Sparks there. Give her the old hand clasp when you get over there, if you will, Mrs. Sparks. Mrs. Sparks yesterday came onto our program as a challenger and ended up a champion. Mr. Tarr has come on today as a challenger, and he'll probably end up as a senator or something like that. Well, happy mink coat and icebox to you, Mr. Tarr. Will you try your buzzer, please, sir? And you, your bell, Mrs. Sparks. Now, right now, we are going to have a round that we think you're going to enjoy. Sheila, will you bring out all the equipment you have on the table there? This is something we're going to ask you to associate articles with the business in which that article is used. That's good. Bring the patient right out there, and you just call surgery. I'll be back in a moment. Sheila, for instance, if we were to hold up something, will you hold up that first object we had there? Now, this doesn't count. Now, if we were to hold up that object, what business would the person be in who uses it? What would you say, Mr. Tarr?
Boot black.
Boot black, or shoe shiner, that's right. In other words, that's a shoe shine box, and the person who uses it would be a boot black. You understand? Now, if we held up a horse, which we might do later on in the program, you would say the person was a cowboy or something like that. It works like that. Now, right now, Sheila's going to hold up objects. As soon as you know what the person does who uses those objects, sound your signal and give me the person's occupation. Any questions? Okay, here we go, Sheila. Let's have object number one. Get ready now with those signals. Here comes the first object. Hold it. Say, that's a clever-looking thing, isn't it? There's the bell, and first is Mrs. Sparks. Yes, ma'am, what do you say?
Plumber?
A plumber would use it. It's a plumber's snake. You're right, and have a point, ma'am. I was going to ask how you knew about plumber's tools, but I guess running a 42-room guest house, you have to deal with plumbers and painters and about everything else, huh? All right, now, that's one of the tools that a plumber almost always forgets. That's the first one he likes to forget. Now, get ready, both of you. Stand by with a bell or buzzer. It's 1-0 for our champion. See if you can't do real good on this one, Mr. Tarr. Mrs. Tarr. Sheila, let's have the next object. As soon as you think the buzzer, what do you say the person would be who used that, sir?
A butcher.
A butcher is right, because it's a meat beater. Yeah. Boy, after the way you met your wife when she was on her way to get a ham, it's a good thing you knew that. That's a bit, I don't know, what do they call it? It's a cubing hammer. A butcher uses it to make the steaks tender. He beats the steaks tender so people will buy them. And if that doesn't work, he beats the people till they buy them. All right, now, 1 point for each contestant. Here comes the tiebreaker. All right, Sheila, bring this up. As soon as you know now, sound it. Say, there's a buzzer. What do you say the person would be who uses that?
A surveyor.
No. Although you were close, he would not be a surveyor. He would have to be a navigator. A surveyor uses a different... This is a sextant. Surveyor uses a trident or something like that. In other words, that's where you look at the sun to tell where you are.
Right.
Of course, you could ask someone. That's a wrong answer for Mr. Tarr. Put that away, Sheila. Free question due for Mrs. Sparks. This is all yours now, Mrs. Sparks, because of that wrong answer of Burton's there. Bring out the next object for Mrs. Sparks, Sheila. Hey, there's a clever... Don't anybody help now. There's a bit there. Do you know what the person would be who uses that, please, ma'am?
Petrol, isn't it?
Well, what would the person be who would use that? We can accept two answers, either of two.
An apothecary.
What's an
pharmacist.
A pharmacist. Is that what? You're right. Yes, you are. He would be an apothecary.
That's one word that we use.
Is an apothecary? Is that a druggist?
Yes, he's a pharmacist or an apothecary.
I thought maybe you were calling me an unkind name or something like that. But I'm awfully glad you got that. It's now 2-1 in favor of our champion. All right, get ready, both of you. Here comes Sheila with the next object. Sheila, let's see what we have here. Oh, this is clever. There's the buzzer. What do you say, sir? What do you say that would be? Who would
Cake decorator.
Cake decorator or baker? You're right, and you tied the score. That's real good. I'll tell you what, both of you get ready. We're going to have a winner in just a moment. We'll be back here to pick up right where we left off. But first, we're going to pause briefly for station identification.
A while back, I had trouble sleeping. So I tried an over-the-counter sleep aid, but it left me feeling groggy the next day. And even worse, it also affected my family.
Honey, are you coming?
Let's go, Mom. Yeah, come on, Mom.
And that groggy feeling was with me for most of the day.
Can we please go to the zoo now?
Yeah, as soon as Mom's done with breakfast.
If you or someone you love has trouble sleeping, there's help at shuteye.com. Visit today and register for a free trial offer. Or call the toll-free number to receive a free information kit. You'll learn about sleep solutions that can help you get a good night's rest without feeling groggy the next day.
Hey, who's up for a ride?
Leave that groggy feeling behind. When you feel better, your family will too. Visit shuteye.com today.
You are about to enter the secret world of hidden camera television.
Muffin time, everybody.
Our mission, to scare the pants off unsuspecting targets, entertain the masses.
Where do you think you're going?
And induce waves of rolling laughter. Our illicit operatives won't stop until the job is done.
My son is in the porta potty.
Spy TV, tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on GSN, the network for gamers.
Spy TV.
It's winner take all, and here's your master of ceremonies, Bill Collins.
Say, for the benefit of those of you who are just joining us, we'll bring you up to date on what's happened so far. Nothing. No, actually, Mrs. Sparks, our champion yesterday when we left, is still champion. She has defeated one opponent, and she's now up here with Mr. Burton Tarr, who was a Pennsylvania state legislator, a politician, a school teacher, and a hobo, and now he's with us. We're happy to have him here. I don't know what he's going to be when he leaves here, but I know he's going to be good at it, I'll tell you that. Now, we had just left a round in which the score was 2 for our champion and 2 for our challenger. So once again, we're going to have Sheila hold up an object, and we're going to ask you to give us the name of the person or what the person does who uses this object. Get ready, Sheila. Get ready, both of you. You got to be fast on your signal now. Hold it up, Sheila. Here we come. Real quick. The buzzer's first. What do you say, Mr. Tarr?
I would say it would be a music professor.
A music professor. You're right. And a brand new... Thank you, Mrs. Sparks. You were swell. You really were, and we appreciate it ever so much having you on our program. Mrs. Sparks was a good champion. Let's give Miss Sparks a hand. I think she was swell. Boy, Mrs. Sparks left her 7 children and 42-room guest house and came to winner-take-all and won herself 3 rounds. And Mr. Holmes is up here now. Congratulations, champ. I think of Burton Holmes. This is Burton Tarr. The reason I called you Burton Holmes, I guess, because of that travel log you gave me when I asked you where Hopwood, Pennsylvania was. Mr. Tarr, I suppose you want to know what you won, and Don Pardo is a fellow who wants to tell you, so here he is.
A bill for our school teacher, hobo, et cetera, and now our champion from the Admiral Corporation, Mr. Tarr. An Admiral refrigerator with flash defrosting, the fastest and most economical automatic defrosting, where you press a button and frost is gone in 7 minutes. That's an Admiral refrigerator, and it's all yours, Mr. Tarr, with congratulations on winner take all.
Yes, sir. Boy, Mr. Tarr, you are doing all right. There's an Admiral refrigerator to keep your admirals in. I always say, we want you to meet another contestant, and Sheila Conley has someone for you. At least I think she has. Who do we have here, Sheila? Got a girl for you, Mr. Tarr. We'll find out a little. Hi, Sheila. Who's this?
Bill, this is Mrs. Frida Vickerman.
Frida Vickerman with a lovely hat. That is a beautiful hat. Just speak right up, Miss Vickerman, because we want everybody to be able to hear what you have to say. For instance, we want them to be able to hear your answer when I ask you this first and highly original question. Where are you from?
I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, golly, yeah.
About 1,000 miles from here.
Huh?
Over 1,000 miles from here.
Doesn't seem that. Doesn't seem more than 15, 16 years. Why are you here in New York now, Mrs. Vickerman?
Well, I came down here with my husband, and he came down for the toy fair, but I just came along for the good time.
You mean
I do have a good time.
You came along to have a good time or to keep him from having a good time?
No, I have a good time. He has to work.
You mean he's tagging around to the toy fair with all these dolls?
I'm not worried.
Well,
you know all the wolves in New York.
I beg your pardon?
You know all about the wolves in New York, don't you?
Well, I haven't had any whistling at me, if that's what you mean. Not in the last 3 or 4 days. Anyway, do you come to New York often?
Well, yes. You see, about, almost 25 years ago, I won a state bathing beauty contest.
You
really?
Did? Oh, I believe it.
And,
Boy.
At that time, I was very thrilled to think that I won it.
Sure.
But I was engaged then to my present husband. And,
Your present husband?
My present husband.
Present. All right, go ahead.
Present.
Oh, present.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Yeah?
He wasn't very happy about having my go to Atlantic City, so he talked me into getting married to him instead of going out there.
Yeah.
But I said, well, I don't know about that. Well, he said, I promise to take you to New York very, very often if you'll just marry me instead of going there.
In other words, in order to keep you from going to Atlantic City as a finalist in the bathing beauty contest, he agreed to marry you and bring you to New York.
Oh, yes.
And you did marry him, huh?
I married
When
him.
did you get to New York?
Well, it was almost 20 years later. You see, we couldn't afford it before.
20 years before you could afford it,
Yes,
huh?
uh-huh.
Say, tell me about this.
You were just in school, you know.
Who was in school?
We were.
Oh, I thought you said I was in school.
No.
I'd already graduated. Will you tell me a little bit about this beauty contest that you won? What did you wear? What didn't you wear?
Well, I think today would be quite comical because it was a navy blue one-piece suit, and it went almost to the knees.
Really did?
And stockings I wore almost up to the knees, too.
In other words, there was a little hole there between the knees and the stockings. Huh?
Just the knee.
That was
just
where
the
you
knee
got.
showed.
That's where you got your sunburn, huh?
I guess so. And I wore black high-heel shoes with big silver buckles on them. It was quite pretty those days.
That sounds stunning.
It really was those days. I think it was.
I think it was, too. It's sort of like our bikini bathing suit.
Well, I wear that now.
You do?
I do.
You do. You do really?
I do really.
Oh, boy. When are you going swimming next?
Well, shall we make a date?
You're talking about the wolves in New York. These ones from Minneapolis don't do bad, you know. Here I am, an innocent fella. Well, anyway, that is all right. That's a real clever suit. Say, do you have any children, by the way?
Oh, yes, I have two wonderful boys. One is 19, and he's a very fine amateur golfer. He has played with Snead and Middlecoff, and he has had front page picture and a write-up on the front page because he made a 67 and really outdid all of the professional golfers.
That is all
My
right.
other boy is a football player.
This boy of yours made a 67?
Yes, he did.
I don't like to say this to you, but you know, and I'm not kidding, I had a 66 once in bowling.
Well,
I'm only kidding you. What's the other boy do?
he did play football. He's not spectacular at all, but he does play a good, steady game of football.
He's not spectacular, but a
Not
nice,
in the-
good American
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
Any other things you have?
Oh, and I have a dog. You should see that little cocker I have.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
can pray.
She can what?
She prays.
She prays?
And she plays the piano, and she can play hide and go
Oh,
seek.
wait a minute. She plays the piano?
Yes, she does.
We had a lady on the other day who had a talking dog and a singing dog. Your dog plays the piano?
My dog can play the piano, and she can pray, and she understands German.
Can your dog, your dog doesn't by any chance play the piano for this other lady whose dog sang?
No, I don't know that dog.
You don't know that dog? You say your dog can understand German? How do you tell your dog to play the piano in German?
Well, I say, go with spiel the piano.
You say what?
Spiel the piano.
Well, tell me the whole thing like you say to the dog. Suppose I'm the dog.
I say, Judy, go spiel. But I tell her in German, I tell her
Yeah.
to pray, I say, make Abba, Judy.
Make Abba.
Then she goes to the
Pretty interesting thing. Here's the lady who has a little cocker spaniel. When it's not spieling, it's making Abba. Would you go over there and make Abba? I mean... I said introduce yourself to him, not get to know him. You want to go swimming, Mr. Tar?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, he's right in the swimming thing. All right, now, get ready. Do you understand German, Mr. Tar?
No, I don't.
Well, that's a shame because I happen to be a master of the language, and I just wanted to say to both of you before we start, by hearts and im drei Viertel talk to both of you, with my very best. I don't know what I... Don't look at me. I hope it's all right. Sound the buzzer, if you will, please, ma'am. Miss Vickerman, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Tar, will you sound your bell? All right, now I want both of you to remember the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission and all that sort of thing. Here comes the first question. You're both eligible. Let's see who scores first. I have an idea who's going to, but let's see who does. The city of Detroit, Michigan is on a river. There's a clever bit. Now, this river, the city rather... For the benefit of anyone who missed what happened, I start answering the question. Miss Vickerman's ear came off. Oh, it's her earring. Sheila, will you come out and get the earring for us, please? Nobody else can do it. We want Sheila to do it. We've got to put this lady back together, really. Here you are, solid
Thank you
pearl.
very much. I think I'll hold it.
Well, hold it right there, yes. You want to take the other one off now?
All right.
Make yourself comfortable. Here we go. All right, now, here we go. Here we go. You're both eligible. The city of Detroit, Michigan is on a river just across from the Canadian city of Windsor. What is the name of the river? There's the bell. What do you say over there, Mr.
Detroit.
You're right, Mr. Tar. You got the first point. There's one right for you. You score one more point, and Miss Vickerman's shoes are going to come off. All right, now get ready. Boy, Miss Vickerman has really thrown herself into this game. Now we have 1-0 for the champ. What is the name of the great German composer who wrote the Moonlight Sonata? Oh. You ought to know that. Yeah, go ahead. Who was it?
Beethoven.
Beethoven is right. You got a point there. Yes, sir. Beethoven wrote it, and her dog schmealed it.
I think that's what it's like.
Is that a schmeal or spiel? How do you say it?
Spiel.
Spiel.
Yeah.
Oh, I do apologize. Well, bye, Hartson. Here we go. We have 1 point for each contestant. One for Mr. Tar, one for Mrs. Vickerman. Get ready, both of you. Here's a question you're going to like. This is about legs. Does a wombat have 2 legs, 4 legs, or no legs? There's the buzzer. What do you say, Miss Vickerman? Quickly. Quickly.
Has,
Say something. Oh, I
2.
go. No, it's 4. It's an Australian animal, and you know you have to answer faster than that, or I'd call you wrong. But that's all right. Nothing happens because it was a wrong answer. You were lucky. The wombat has 4 legs because it's an Australian animal closely related to all the other wombats. I thought I knew, but I don't. I don't know whether a wombat's related to a kangaroo or whether it has to pay fare for that ride it gets. But anyway, it's a wrong answer for Mrs. Vickerman and a free question for Mr. Tar. Here's your free question. No, that's not it. That's Beethoven again. Give me Judy. Get ready now. You're both. This is all yours, Mr. Tar. Men in what occupation, Mr. Tar, or profession, often wear an article known as a Mae West?
Well, aviators and sailors.
That's right. That's right. You got a point there, and you got 2. A Mae West. A Mae West is an inflatable life jacket that they wear, and they inflate it at will by CO2, I think they use. And the reason they call it a Mae West is because the time it was invented, Diamond Lil was playing on Broadway. Next question. 2 for our champion and 1 for our challenger. You're both eligible for this one, so hang on. This gives Miss Vickerman a chance to tie the score, or Mr. Tar a chance to win it. Let's see now. There's an inexpensive but important fur known as coney, C-O-N-E-Y. I want to know if coney comes from sheep, calf, or rabbit. There's the buzzer. What do you say, Mrs. Vickerman?
It's a rabbit.
You're right, Mrs. Vickerman. You have a point. Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, they're looking at the score now, huh? I'll say one thing. With earrings falling off and dancing around, the show might not be great today, but it got motion. Well, we have 2 points for Mrs. Vickerman, our challenger, and 2 points for Mr. Tar, our champion. And now we have reached that all-important point where the one of you who wins now becomes the champion and gets a belt. In more ways than one. Let's see what happens now. This is the all-important. Try the bell over there again, Mr. Tar. This is so important, I don't want to rush it. You try the buzzer, Mrs. Vickerman. Well, everything's working right mechanically. If you folks at home are relaxed, I know our contestants are relaxed, so here we go. Now, remember, on this answer hinges a great deal. If you had a demitasse of coffee, would you have it black in a little cup or with milk? There's the buzzer. What do you say, Mrs. Vickerman?
In a small cup.
That's all we want to know. You got it. You're a brand new champion on Winner Take All. Thank you. Hey, boy. Did you see Mr. Tar after he was our champion, and he was a good champion too? Did you see him when he lost? Did you see him throw his arms around our challenger and hug her? That's real sportsmanship. You're going to take him to lunch? Whoa, boy. We're going to end up with all right, I'll tell you what happens now. We have a brand new champion on Winner Take All. Thanks a lot to Mr. Tar, by the way. He was swell. We enjoyed having him with us. Mrs. Vickerman's our brand new champion, and Don Pardo is here to tell Mrs. Vickerman what she's won.
Bill, maybe we can all go swimming now. For Mrs. Vickerman, from Tony Cream Shampoo, the shampoo that gives you soft water shampooing, even in hardest water, a generous supply of Tony Cream Shampoo, and $250 in United States defense bonds. Congratulations from Winner Take All.
Oh, my. I just want to say, I just want to say Miss Bickerman is so happy with winning those United States defense bonds, she'll probably hug the Secretary of the Treasury on her way. Tell you what, though, don't hug him too long. Be back here tomorrow at the same time, if you will, Miss Bickerman. We'd appreciate having you with us ever so much to pick up right where you left off. So until tomorrow at the same time, this is Bill Cullen saying thanks ever so much for listening, and so long now. Bye.